All right, here's a poem inspired by a true story from when I was growing up. So, this one's called Lenny's Shoe and Apparel Year End Worn Out Work Pants Trade In Jamboree. The pants had been born as fleece-lined, insulated double-knee Carhartts, 32 long by 32 waist, khaki brown on the out, crimson on the in, cross-stitched so they wouldn't rip. Workwear for the working man, twin hammer loops, reinforced pockets, and a side zip to the hip. The pride of every Northwoods carpenter slash lumberjack slash tractor driving, trailer hauling, gravel grading, dirt moving, do-it-yourself. By golly, buck up and huck it. It's not that cold out. I ain't no pansy working stiff. Born with a steaming Stanley thermos in one hand and a 30-ounce S-wing in the other, you could outfit Amundsen's expedition to the North Pole with the contents of the pockets and still have room for dogs, Santa, his reindeer, and all his gifts. You could hang the contents of an entire Ace Hardware from the various clips, loops, doodads had all been bolted, watched, and double-stitched. Tougher than the hide on a Sasquatch and stiffer than the ridge beam of the Chrysler Building, this conglomeration of canvas and rivets was not merely sewn, but forged in the greaseball mecca of Detroit alongside the carcasses and guts of the greatest trucks ever built. These pants were tougher than the plate steel on the hull of the USS Columbia and stronger than the front blade of a D9 cat crawling across the Alaskan tundra. They were rain-proof, cold-proof, bug-proof, bulletproof, 190-proof grain alcohol, sugar maple taproot of work pants. These trousers of the apocalypse weren't meant to last a human lifespan. They were built to endure millennia, epochs, the entire human existence, and then be disintegrated in the great end times conflagration, raptured as the sun metastasized into a red giant and all of existence was snuffed out like the bug on the windshield of a Mack truck. All of human existence, they say, or in the case of my father, 365 days. So we all paraded into Lenny's Shoe and Apparel, home of the money-back guarantee and the annual work pants trade-in jamboree like pallbearers for the Pope. The other entries parted and swooned, for it was immediately clear they had no semblance of hope. The remains of the work pants were placed upon the register stand as the clerk looked to the heavens and prayed. What grueling trials had these britches endured in the last 365 days? The tattered remnants were folded like the flag that had floated home from Normandy. Holes the size of cannonballs had been blasted into both of the reinforced knees. The insulated innards bled out like the guts of a cow hit direct by a big old bazooka. The last of the belt loops hung on with a prayer and a mournful hallelujah. The ankles clinked and rattled like the contents of a cart pulled by a wandering medieval tinker as the last vestiges of pockets having given up the ghost and collapsed inward with a whimper. Picture a grizzly bear mauling or a shark sneak attack and punctures in every surface, the tattered threads showing where patches had been sewed, glued, screwed, and removed, unceremoniously retired from service. Pockmarked and splattered, decrepit and haggard, the cuffs had been blackened and torched. They smelled like a feedlot, the inside of an engine, or the business end of a forge. Diesel and mud, gear oil and blood, thinner and WD-40, Red Garden paint and PB&J made an alchemist's laboratory. A cratered moonscape of electrical tape and stains that would never wash out. The pride of Hamilton Carhart had been worked beyond death, taken to hell, and dragged back out. The ceremony commenced as each pair of pants was examined and proudly displayed. The crowd oohed and awed as they beheld my father's Carhart's tattered remains. For the 5th consecutive year, the decision was abundantly clear, and a new pair was given in trade. We'll bury them with respect, they mournfully said, and see you again in 365 days. Yeah, they were fleece-lined, insulated, double-kneed quilted Carhartts, 32 long with 32 waist, khaki brown on the outside, crimson on the in, and cross-stitched so they wouldn't rip. Workwear for the working man, twin hammer loops, reinforced pockets, and a side zip to the hip. That there was Lenny's year-end worn-out work pants trade-in jamboree. True story. Especially the apocalyptic part.